So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. You might have heard that live shopping is exploding, and I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. How are you? Come on in here. It is cold outside, I know. It's cold here in Daytona Beach. It's 45 degrees. If I'm not mistaken, I give Ron a call here, Mr. DeSantis, and man, is that illegal in Florida? I think it's illegal here. It is. I know what it is. All you New Yorkers who moved to Florida brought the weather with you, didn't you? Stop it. Stop it. It is a daily boost from motivationtomove.com. Into 20 years of doing this thing, my name is Scott Smith, every single day walking in the studio to give you a boost of some type. And yes, it's changed over the years. Sometimes it's just pure motivation. Always hope to get some motivation in there, but I also understand that motivation comes in lots of varieties. Sometimes if I give you a good idea, you're instantly motivated. Some people just want to be pumped up and hear a positive boost, if you will, and that comes too in some cases. But the world's changed a bit now. It really has. AI is giving you all the information and now information overload you could ever imagine having, and almost everybody's using it for something. What you used to have to seek out is just there for you. It's your fingertips. You just pull out your phone and just chat into ChatGPT, and you got your answer. But what's missing? Well, what's always been missing, and what this show is becoming more and more as we move away from the list of things and information that you could do, we move toward insight, wisdom, discernment between the lines. That's my goal on these shows, to kind of think a little bit differently, because you can get the stuff elsewhere, and fine, go get it. But if I can get you thinking a little bit today, that you'd inspire yourself a little bit, motivation becomes inevitable and you get stuff done. And that's the goal. Hey, have you got my Perfect Week Planner yet? A lot of folks have been downloading it. I did a show about it 2 weeks ago? A lot of folks ran and got it. You should. It works. Go to perfectweekplanner.com. It is the simplest way to really control your time. And today's show is about time. That's why I bring it up. But here's what's going to happen. About half of you are going to go download it, and you're not going to watch a little video, and you're going to look at it, and you're going to say, this is stupid. It's too simple. It's not going to work. It will. Give it a try. And the other half of you are just going to download it. You're going to immediately unsubscribe and say, I want your free stuff. Don't ever send me an email. Don't ever talk to me again, and keep doing your podcast free forever. Am I sounding mocking? I am. I've just been here 20 years. That happens. It's okay, man. God love you. Really. So as I came in the studio today, I was thinking, why the heck do I do this thing? Why do I do this thing? Why do I keep doing this podcast every single day? And I realized I'm making a difference. I'm having an impact. I like what I do. But I also realized after 20 years, how much longer will I do it? And why is it more important to me now than maybe ever before? And it came down to time. Because I'm getting older. You probably don't know this, but I'm not 30. You probably haven't figured that out yet, right? I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to admit to anything. But we're all doing that, right? Because time, as Benjamin Hardy would say, is a tool, and you can use it or you're going to drift one or the other. And what you learn over time is there are certain times when you shouldn't be drifting. And whether you're young or middle-aged or older or somewhere wherever I am, you got to pay attention to time. It's the one constant we have in our life. But have you ever noticed, like, sometimes you can waste an entire Saturday without even trying? Sometimes that's a goal, right? That would be trying, but sometimes you don't even try and you waste it, right? But if you've got a flight to catch, and the flight's like in 3 hours, and TSA's not getting paid, so the lines are really long, you notice how suddenly you become the most efficient human being on the planet? Have you noticed that? Same brain, same person, same life, different relationship with time. It is crazy how it changes over time. Time isn't something that just passes, is it? It's something you use. Or maybe, hang on, let's think about this. It's something you don't use. Most people don't realize they're using it, I think, until they don't have enough of it. Are you that way? If the time is one of those things kind of in the background, right? What? It's just there. It's just there. When I was in radio a lot of time years ago, one of the things about being in radio, it's very deadline driven, very clock driven. If you had a story done to be on the air, or even if you're playing songs of the air and talking, you go top of the hour, bottom of the hour, quarter hours. Everything is very time driven. I can walk out of my office right now and have look, I got to get on a call in 2 minutes. Well, let me go to the bathroom, pet the dog, get a cup of coffee and a drink of water and come on back. My wife says, you got 2 minutes? I said, I learned a long time ago how to manage time, even if it's only 2 minutes. But back in radio, I learned I had no extra time. I had no extensions. It just had to happen. No, I'll do it later. The news person's waiting to go at top of the hour. It's got to be there at top of the hour. I can't say, I'm sorry, the song's long. I want to hear this. What's funny is we always got it done. Nobody sat around saying, I just need to feel more motivated to do the news. The clock kind of handled that. The clock motivated everything. It's amazing how the clock motivates everything even to this day. You ever heard the phrase, to be on time is to be early? Clock still motivates. You ever look at somebody who's late and down to look at them? I don't even want to ask what you're thinking. If they don't have a good excuse, I know what you're thinking. When time compresses, though, magic happens. When there's less of it, you get better. Have you noticed that? You focus faster, you decide quicker, you stop messing around. I know I do, so I don't like to compress time. But I do it. I do it really purposely. I do it to torture myself. I do it because when I do compress time, I'm going to be faster and quicker, and I'm not going to mess around anymore. I'm going to be serious about what I want to do. When there's no pressure on time, what happens? You drift. You think more. You research more. You organize more. You clean your garage more. You binge Netflix more. Except you kind of do anything except doing what actually has to move your life forward, right? We've talked about that a lot. Is it just a time thing that does that? I think it is. Time compression is really, really important. You can move things faster. Benjamin Hardy talks about this in Time as a Tool, and talks about oftentimes a question you hear him say. Someone will say, I'm going to do this in the next 5 years. And he'll say, can you do it in 2? I don't know. Maybe. Can you do it in 1? Truth is, yes, you can. You have to change your focus to get there. We talk about focus a lot. But time is just a tool you can use for so many things. And if you harness the power of it and recognize exactly what's going on, it'll make you honest. You will see suddenly what really matters, if you'll admit it.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
When you've got 2 hours, you don't scroll, do you? You don't overthink. You don't reorganize your desk. You just go straight to it. What counts right now? I know this is difficult sometimes because I'm working on some projects that will take months and months and months to do. I always have something in the background I'm working on. I would love to get it done in a week or two. I could compress time and try to do that, and certainly there are ways to bring the tools together to do that. But sometimes you just can't. Sometimes things just take longer. You can't put an outcome. You don't know how long it's going to take. You just hope you're alive when it gets done. But other things you actually can push. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say this, too. I'm going to contradict myself a little bit. I think sometimes when you put an artificial, very harsh deadline on yourself and you compress time and then you focus exactly on what you want to be doing and you're committed to it, I think you will find a way to hit your deadline in time. I think you could take something that could take 10 years and do it in 6 months. I've seen it. I've seen other people do it, but you got to get so out of the box to figure it out, and most people don't want to do that. But we have a trap here. Free time. Free time is what? It's dangerous. It is. It's terribly dangerous when I have free time. That's when I get in trouble. Almost all the time I get in trouble, it's during my free time. I don't get in trouble when I'm busy. Don't get in trouble when the clock said I had to do something. I get in trouble when the clock said I didn't have anything to do. I'll let you define trouble. I'm not going to go there today. But it's pretty much what you think, and then some. Not because it's bad, by the way, but because most people don't know how to use it when they have free time. People always say they want more time, always will. When we're talking to clients, and I talk to people all the time, and you'll see it online, you'll see people doing this. I know what you want. Most important thing in the world, well, you all want more money. We know that. Everybody wants more money, right? You all want more free time for sure. You want some freedom. If I had to put them in order, what would it come down to? Well, depending on your age, you might say, well, I want freedom and I want maybe money. Those are the first two. You get older and you'll say you want more time. I promise you that. So how do we compress time? How do we do it easily? Goal setting. Talked about that just a little bit. Kind of danced around it a bit, circled around it, if you will. Goal setting. It matters more than you think. You're wired that way. You're not wired for achievement, but you are wired for compression and focus. I was reading a few months back, and I've also often heard this, you're wired and you're a goal-seeking machine. And I got a little metaphor that somebody said, I wish I could remember who said this, was that if you think about yourself, you have two eyes and you have a nose. Those two eyes are kind of triangulating over your nose, causing you to focus on whatever's right in front of you. It's like you're a missile with a target. So think about yourself walking around, what you look at, what captures your attention. Have you ever been told that you go where you look? Number one place that motorcyclists get in trouble is they go around a turn and they run right into the woods. Why? Because they were looking at the pretty bush in the woods instead of around the turn. Goal setting machine, where you turn your head, your ears, your eyes, and your nose point that direction. That's where you're going to go. So physically, you're wired that way. You're also wired that way mentally. When you set a goal, look at it directly like that. Decide what you're going to do, and you commit to it. You are, in fact, compressing your thoughts, compressing your focus, and compressing your time. It's the moment to decide. This is happening. When you do that, time changes, doesn't it? What happens when that happens? What happens when that happens? That's a weird way to say that, Scott. Listen, it's a stream of consciousness right now, right? Give me a break. You start organizing your day differently. If you set a goal, you commit, you're going, you will organize your day differently. Sometimes automatically without even thinking about it. You'll protect your hours, won't you? You'll defend them. You'll stop saying yes to the things that don't matter. Not because you became disciplined, because you became clear. You know, people are always asking, Scott, how do you stay motivated? Well, they don't say it like that. Well, sometimes they do. I've been in bars. How do you stay motivated? You don't. Honestly, from a guy who studied motivation for the longest time, I will tell you this, that if you want to stay, that was the question, how do we stay motivated? You want to get motivated, you want to have inspiration. Inspiration will instantly click, it gets your attention, And you'll say, I want to do that. And you felt that before, right? That's why I say explore the possibilities. Find something that gets you excited. But how do you stay motivated? Compress your time. Instead of sitting around saying, hey, I'm going to figure it out. Well, however long it takes, maybe a year. Let's go. No, compress it. Let's do it in a month. Motivation shows up when the time gets tight and the goals matter. That's when your brain kicks in and says, let's go. That's what happens. You see it all the time. I can tell you a lot of coaching clients I come to, well, they'll come to me and they'll have something they want to do and say, well, I kind of want to work on it. It's kind of a hobby. Maybe take a year to get there. And I said, God knows, don't do that. Let's do it in 90 days. Let's go. A little busy. Don't really have the time. It's not important. Choose a direction, commit to it, and let's put a time frame on this. Let's compress time. The minute we do that, you'll get it done. You'll be excited. You'll stay motivated the entire time. If not, you'll drift. Tell me I'm not right on this. How many times have you just let stuff drift until you got it or lost it? How do I manage my time? Well, maybe it's where I'm letting time expand so much that I don't have to take any action. Because if you really want to change your life, don't wait for more time. Just give yourself less. Because when it expands like that and you got all kinds of time to play with, sometimes very quickly after you wasted it all, you realize, oh, I didn't really anyway, did I? It is crazy. I'm telling you. And there's my tickle. I made it through 13 minutes and 39 seconds before I tickled in you. Well, there's a little one, Miller. So it's a pretty simple lesson today. I'll take you and let you run with that all you want to, but I'm telling you right now, if something is important to you, first thing you ought to do is just agree that it's important. You want to commit to it. Second thing is compress the time. Get there in a quarter of the time. You'll be happier.